Thank you, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you
sure.
hear me?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
sir. Okay. And let us start, sir. Dear friends, well-wishers, and practitioners all over the world, warm greetings to all of you. First of all, I congratulate and thank all behind this venture. And this may be a small step, but maybe a forerunner of future developments in homeopathy tomorrow. Nowadays, there is a trend in among homeopaths to explore the unexplored areas. Previously, we are not doing such things in homeopathy. We are exploring new things and new events in the new areas of practices. But we have good results also. All these things we have good results also. But we are not bothered about to keep the records and evidences. So the other systems blames us as a unscientific. So we have to use the tools of modern medicine to make its scientific evidences. For treating the conditions homeopathically, we are not in need of such investigations or anything. We have the only thing we needed is symptom totality. But to know the prognosis, the investigations have a major role. I know that you have all of you have a concrete knowledge about PCOD and its consequences. Please consider this session as a refreshing one. Your previous knowledge. In the past, it is considered that the PCOD is considered as merely an endocrine disorder, but the researchers says that PCOD is polycystic ovarian syndrome is not mere as endocrine disorder. It is a metabolic, hormonal, psychosocial disorder that impacts patients' quality of life. And PCOD may lead to various psychological consequences, including decreased mental health, lower self-esteem, impaired marital and social adjustments, decreased quality of life, and poor sexual functioning also. It is extremely important to holistically treat these patients early to help them to deal with the consequences and emotional stress also. Early diagnosis and long-term management can help to control PCOD, so that women can live in a healthy, active life to avoid long-term complications. And you all know that PCOD is a disorder that affecting the multi-system. Sorry, I am going to share my screen with you. Is it visible to you? Sir, is the screen is visible?
No, ma'am.
No, no. Able, please help.
Sir.
Ma'am, what does it shows when you're sharing your screen?
Sir, I am trying to share my screen, but it is said that only the PDF can be shared.
Okay, you can share your whole screen. You're sharing from your laptop, right, or computer?
No,
Right?
no, I am sharing from my mobile.
Oh, okay. So you have to share your whole screen and
Whole screen. I am trying to. Is it visible, sir?
no, ma'am.
Yes, sir. It is seen that the Google Drive, photos, documents, every bookmark, screen.
Ma'am, when you're joining from your mobile and sharing your screen, you have an option like share your whole screen. You have to scroll down and first you can see Microsoft OneDrive, Google Drive.
There is only screen. It is in a screen.
And click on the screen. Then you
Start
can
now. I give the option start now.
Yes. That do that.
Then appear on top some accessibility.
Might your mobile have some security issues for sure that you have to click everything, give access and all. And after you clicking start now, just use the mobile as you are using it.
Sir.
Sir. Ma'am, specifically what you want to share?
My PowerPoint.
PowerPoint.
Okay, sir. PPT.
Okay, so sharing the PPT in mobile, you have to share like that.
Usually in a Google Meet, we share it.
Google Meet, it is different. So it is the same here also. You have to share your screen, give access, and start doing as you do in the Google Meet. It's
Ma'am, you can speak without screen sharing.
Sir, okay, sir. Okay, ma'am.
You can speak without screen sharing if you have any problem. Is it okay for you, Doctor?
Sir?
Yeah, sure,
Hello,
sure. If it is not possible, you can speak without sharing. You can speak.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Because
Okay, sir.
you can teach us.
Okay. Because okay.
Or else you can share the PPT with us. We can also share it for.
There's I can send it by mail.
Okay. If you are comfortable without
Okay.
PPT, you can continue. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, we can continue. The polycystic ovarian syndrome is the common metabolic syndrome seen in the female of reproductive age group And the studies of PCOS in India reported that the prevalence of about 3.7% to 22.5% and an average about 36% prevalence rate of PCOS in India. And if you consider this polycystic ovarian disease as a new one? No, it is definitely, we can say it is not. When we examine the Egyptian papyrus medical records, we can see the writings of Hippocrates. He mentioned about this type of similar condition, that the masculine woman who is having menstrual irregularities and infertility, sterility problems, and he described in his medical records about this type of ladies. And same in the case of Soranus, the Greek physician also mentioned about this type of condition, and the medieval physician Moses also mentioned about this type of barren ladies, and most celebrated Renaissance surgeon Ambray Peri also mentioned about such type of patients. And from this evidence, we can say it is not a new one. It is existed from the before Christ also. This statement, we can say millions of years before this condition exists. But the present syndrome, that is polycystic ovarian syndrome, is defined by Steen and Leventhal in 1935. So it is known as Steen-Leventhal syndrome. And the PCO is described by Steen-Leventhal, manifested by amenorrhea, obesity, hirsutism, with enlarged polycystic ovarian disease, androgenism, hyperinsulinemia, insulin resistance, anovulation, hyperprolactinemia are the conditions met with this syndrome. And when we talk and think about this condition, we always met with so many synonyms like PCOD, PCOS, PCOM. A patient also asked us what is the difference between these terminologies. First of all, we can look into PCOM. What is PCOM? PCOM is the polycystic ovarian morphology. Here the ovaries are involved. The changes are seen in the ovaries only. When we examine by ultrasonography is doing, we can say the ovary is with 12 or more follicles ranging in size from 2 millimeters to 10 millimeters. And the ovarian volume is more than 10 ml, and there is no dominant follicles are seen. There is no dominant follicle means there is no chance of ovulation. There is only polycystic morphology is there. Sometimes the patient even not having any symptoms at all. No menstrual irregularities and no hormonal imbalance is met with that type of patients. It is usually seen in case of adolescent girls, usually having this type of PCOM or polycystic ovarian morphology is seen without any symptoms and hormonal derangements. And next term, the PCOD. PCOD is polycystic ovarian disease. Is a milder form of this condition, and the symptoms are mainly limited to the ovaries and reproductive system. And there is no endocrinal abnormalities. Sometimes there is minor endocrine abnormalities, but no metabolic disorder or other complications are seen with this condition. Only it is better to mention that the PCOM may convert in the future. It may convert into PCOD and PCOS. Our may not show the even in PCOD cases there may not be seen any hormonal imbalance also. And PCOS is the well-known the so-called polycystic ovarian syndrome. PCOD or polycystic ovarian syndrome, you to the knowledge of the non-practicing or the other people, the syndrome is a group of the collection of symptoms or a group of symptoms that are associated with the main disorder is known as syndrome. PCOS is also like that of a disorder that is having that is an advanced form of this condition. It is this condition having hormonal imbalance, metabolic disorder. Everything is with it. The PCOS requires rigorous treatment and modification of diet and lifestyle also. the three things, the difference are PCOS is the syndrome that needs the definite treatment and dietary and lifestyle management. And PCOM is that one having only morphological derangement of ovaries without any symptoms and hormonal derangement or metabolic disorder. And PCOD, sometimes there may be symptoms and ovarian and uterine symptoms are only there. And there are four types of PCODs are seen. And the researcher says that are divided into this PCOS into four types: type A, type B, type C, and type D. And type A, hyperandrogenism, chronic anovulation, and polycystic ovaries are seen. And in type B, hyperandrogenism and chronic anovulation is seen. And in type C cases, hyperandrogenism and polycystic ovaries are seen. And type D, chronic anovulation and polycystic ovaries are seen. These are these categories, the appearance of these symptoms. The PCOS is categorized into four. Hyperandrogenism is the hallmark of PCOS. And the biochemical abnormalities usually met with PCOS are acyclic hormonal derangement are usually seen as acyclic estrogen production, and luteinizing hormone hyperstimulation, hypersecretion, and decreased sex hormone binding globulin, and hyperinsulinemia, hyperprolactinemia, and all these contribute to the production of increased production of androgens from ovaries. More androgens are produced from ovaries, less. And LH hyperfunction. In PCOD patients, we can see there is LH-FSH ratio is altered. Usually it is 1:1, but in case of PCOD, it is altered to 2:1 or 3:1. And it may be due to the pulsatile secretion of GnRH from increased pulsatile secretion of GnRH from the hypothalamus that will act on the anterior pituitary and increase the production of LH. And comparatively less production of FSH, but a steady there is no LH surge seen in this case. In PCOD patients, there is no LH surge that is needed for ovulation. So there is the FSH hormone is very less in quantity. So there is the follicles are ovarian follicles are not grown properly. So there are many follicles we can see in the periphery of the ovary at different maturity, and no one will maturate and go into ovulation. And the androgen excess is another main feature of PCOD. The abnormal regulation of androgen forming enzyme, that is P450 and C17, is considered as the main cause of excess production of androgen from ovaries and adrenals. More androgens are produced from the ovaries and less amount is from the adrenals. The principal source of androgen is ovary. And the ovarian production of excess androgen is due to stimulation of Thika cells by luteinizing hormone. Luteinizing hormone sensitizes the Thika cells to produce more antigen, and P450 and C17 enzyme hyperfunction is also considered to be one of the reasons for increased androgen production. And defective aromatization of androgen. There is conversion of androgens into estrogen is less in PCOD cases. And stimulation of Thika cells by insulin-like growth factor 1 is also one of the reasons for increased androgen production. And hyperinsulinemia is also seen in PCOD patients. And the PCOD patients have chance to develop type 2 diabetes in their future life. Insulin stimulation of Thika cells to produce more androgen is the one of the cause, and insulin-like growth cells in more free insulin growth factor. And there is insulin resistance is seen in PCOD patients. There is end organ resistance, and there is increased amount of insulin is seen in the patient, but it is resistant to the end organ. insulin resistant occurs when the normal amount of insulin secreted by the pancreas is not able to unlock the dorsals. And obesity and physical inactivity also aggravate the insulin production. We all know that for the control of diabetes and PCOD, physical exercise is needed, and obesity and physical inactivity will aggravate the insulin resistance. To maintain the normal blood glucose, the pancreas secretes additional insulin in some cases. When the body cells resist or do not respond to even high levels of insulin, glucose buildup in the blood, resulting in high blood glucose or type 2 diabetes. And some syndromes are seen in the PCOD patient are Heran syndrome. That it consists of hyperandrogenism, insulin resistance, and acanthosis nigricans. The patients having PCOD having a thickening and discoloration of the skin of the back of the neck and falls of the skin. It is known as acanthosis nigricans, and it is a usual pattern of PCOD skin. And the syndrome X. Syndrome X has associated with the disorders of diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, hyperglycemia, hyperlipidemia, obesity, polycystic ovary, altogether known as syndrome X. We can say it is a metabolic syndrome. The common symptoms of PCODs are menstrual disorders like amenorrhea, menorrhagia. Metrorrhagia is also met with PCOD patients. Obesity, central obesity is seen with the PCOD patient. Hirsutism. Hirsutism means unwanted hair growth, hair and mustaches, and acne. And some conditions mimic this PCOD condition, like hyperprolactinemia due to some other reasons, thyroid disorders, ovarian insufficiency, hyperandrogenism due to other causes, due to androgen secreting tumors of the adrenal, and hypertrichosis, etc. are the conditions to be ruled out. And the risk factors for developing PCODs are stress, weight gain, sleep apnea, hormonal pills, etc. The risk factors of PCOS is 40% if her sister is affected with the PCOD, 40% chance of developing PCOD in that girl also, and 20% chance if her mother is having PCOD. And there is no conclusive data to support this. These are from studies conducted by various researchers. And the diabetes and polycystic ovarian syndrome are common medical conditions, and the two are linked, and the problem with insulin can characterize both the conditions. If menstrual irregularities persist for 2 years after menarche, the risk of PCOD is high, that is 70% of cases. And there are some consequences of polycystic ovarian diseases also. There are short-term and long-term consequences of PCODs. Short-term consequences are obesity, infertility, irregular menses, abnormal lipid levels, hypertension, hirsutism, pimples, androgenic alopecia, glucose intolerance, acanthosis nigricans, increased early pregnancy loss, that is premature labor and abortions, gestational diabetes mellitus, and long-term consequences like diabetes mellitus, endometrial cancer. By living in a long time in the estrogenic environment, the patient may develop endometrial hyperplasia and development of endometrial cancer. There is chance of endometrial cancer in as a long-term consequences in PCOD patient, and cardiovascular diseases also due to the altered lipid metabolism. And there is irregular menses usually seen in the PCOD patient. Usually the amenorrhea is one of the conditions seen in PCOD patient. Here the patient is, there is follicular stimulating hormone is very low in level. So the follicles are, there is no dominant follicles in, and there is any one of the follicles develop into developed for ovulation, and there is a long run of endometrial hyperplasia and amenorrhea, and after a long period, heavy menses may occur in PCOD patient. After 2 or 3 months of amenorrhea, there may be menorrhagia is seen in patient. Hirsutism is another problem in PCOD patient. There are these are due to androgen excess and infertility is one of the major problem of PCOD patient due to anovulation. Most of the patients seeks the medical treatment when during the infertility workout only. And as an evidence-based for the evidence-based treatment, there are some diagnostic criteria for PCOD. Simply, we cannot say PCOD after seeing the ultrasonographic report. According to the NIH, there are 3 parameters for diagnosing consider it as a PCOD: menstrual irregularity, hyperandrogenism, and exclude all other causes of menstrual irregularity and hyperandrogenism. And according to the Rotterdam criteria 2003, 2 out of 3 of these may present with the PCOD cases: menstrual irregularity, hyperandrogenism, and ultrasonographic finding of polycystic ovaries. Then only we can consider it as polycystic ovary. Menstrual irregularity, hyperandrogenism, and ultrasonographic finding. Any 2 out of these 3 is required to diagnose it as PCOD. And androgen excess society criteria: menstrual irregularity plus USG polycystic ovary, hyperandrogenism, and exclusion of all other etiologies for this are considered as diagnostic criteria for PCOD. And the investigations needed for PCOD are sonography, no doubt. Transvaginal sonography is special use in obese patients. Usually the PCOD patients are obese one, so it is necessary to do an transvaginal ultrasonography. Then only we get the better results. The ovaries may be enlarged in volume, and it is more than 10 centimeter cube, and increased in number of follicles. More than 12 number of follicles are seen in different maturity between the size 2 to 9 millimeters. And also look for the serum values of LH and FSH. And LH FSH ratio should be changed in this condition. And raise the level of estradiol and estrogen. These are 2 types of estrogens, and estrogen level is markedly elevated. And sex hormone binding globulin level is reduced, so that the function of sex hormone binding globulin is that binds the sex hormones. So that there is free hormones are less seen in the blood in normal cases. But in case of PCOD, there is sex hormone binding level is reduced. Hyperandrogenism is another. So androstenedione level is raised. Raised serum testosterone level, that is more than 150 mg per dilution. And dehydroepiandrostenedione may be marginally elevated in case of PCOD patient. And insulin resistant cases, raised fasting insulin level more than 25 mu per international unit per ml. And fasting glucose insulin ratio is also altered. And level of serum insulin response to 300 mu ml at 2 hours post glucose load suggestive of severe insulin resistance. And the polycystic appearance of ovary on ultrasonography is only one of the evidence of PCOD. And nowadays, the practitioners and scientists said that the criteria for diagnose the Rotterdam criteria, NIH criteria, and androgen excess society criteria should be changed. And there are they demand to include anti-Mullerian, the level of anti-Mullerian hormone level also as a diagnostic criteria for PCOD. The anti-Mullerian hormone level are significantly higher in polycystic ovarian cases, and the increased AMH level are due to the higher number of follicle and cells and per follicle on and every follicles there are more number of follicles, more than 12 number of follicles are seen of different maturity, and from every cell the production of AMH is there. So there is the AMH is increased in the PCOD cases. The AMH is currently not included as a diagnostic criteria of PCOS. The scientists say that ultrasonography is not used for the diagnosis of PCOS in those with gynecological age less than 8 years. Gynecological age less than 8 years after menarche. Years after menarche, it is not considered as a diagnostic point. And the management of PCOS are weight reduction. You all know that the management of the main management is weight reduction, and especially the obesity is controlled around the waist. Avoid cigarette smoking and hormone therapies. Avoid hormone therapies and hormonal pills uses. And hormone therapy is one of the type of management for PCOD in the conventional system of medicine, and they are doing surgery if the medical therapy fails, and if there is hyperstimulation of ovaries occur, then also the surgery is doing in laparoscopic puncture of ovaries is doing by the conventional system. Yeah. And there, for the management of PCOD, there is a multidisciplinary approach in the conventional system by general practitioners, fertility specialists, dermatologists, dietitian, endocrinologist, obstetrician, pediatrician, cardiologist, pulmonologist. Every specialist should be associated in the treatment of case of PCOD. A multidisciplinary approach is seen in conventional system, that is allopathic system of management. But they are using the the treatment for PCOD. They are using the contraceptive pills, metformin, clomiphene, citrate, etc. for the PCOD treatment. Metformin is commonly used either alone or with also. Management, we can advise the patient low carb diets, especially in the cut down the calories, especially in the evening, and ask them to take a daily intake of 5 to 6 small meals. This will keep the metabolism humming and reduce the craving for sweets and calories and starches. So ask them to take small meals, small and frequent meals. And monosaturated fats in nuts help to fight insulin resistance. That is also associated with the PCOD, insulin resistance. So ask them to take monosaturated fats, rich nuts, and low glycemic carbs, which take much longer time to digest, causes only a small or slow rise in the blood sugar and insulin levels. Non-starchy vegetables, legumes, and fruits, and low glycemic diet is advised in PCOD patient. And vitamin B2, B3, B6 are essential for normal thyroid function and metabolism, and can help to reduce the excess body weight. And calcium is also play a role in the maturation of ovum and follicle development. Vitamin D is essential for promoting calcium absorption from the food in the intestine. So the supplementary therapy is also plays a very good role. Zinc can exert a beneficial effect on at least 2 common conditions associated with PCOD, acne and obesity. To combat with acne and obesity, zinc, the micronutrients are necessary, which it is said that even reducing 5% of body weight will reduce insulin resistance and PCOD to a great extent. And it will produce magical results in PCOD cases. When we say to reduce the reduce body weight to a patient, usually the young girls may obey us, but the ladies above 30 ages will never obey our demand. In this field, homeopathy can take care of chronic hormonal syndrome in an individual when conventional treatment, hormone-related treatment or surgery is otherwise advised. Homeopathy can play a very vital role in this case. PCOD can be treated successfully without recurrence through individualized homeopathic medicines with lifestyle management. And the patient therefore has to be treated holistically as per the modern medicine point of view, psychosomatically. That means considering the physical symptoms and mental symptoms. In other words, it is the patient in disease and not the disease in patient which consider for treatment. We consider when the patient history, past history and present history also. The neurotransmitter produced in the higher center brain are passed into hypothalamus and pituitary through hypothalamo-hypoglossal axis. We all know that for proper menstruation, hypothalamo-pituitary ovarian axis should be maintained. The proper functioning of this only produce normal menstruation. There are a number of psychological causes like mental shock, grief, mortification, vexation, suppressions, emotions, suppression of emotions and anger, and dreams, fears, delusions that affect the mind. Such psychological factors could therefore be root cause of the hormonal imbalance. These mental symptoms or emotional symptoms are maybe the root cause of the hormonal derangements in the patient. Such psychological factors are the root cause of the hormonal imbalance, though the neurohormonal pathway may leading to ultimately to PCOD. Every study of PCOD has shown that high risk of depression, anxiety affecting quality of life in this condition. Usually it is seen that PCOD patients are may be affected with grief or any type of mental or emotional stress. In case of PCOD, when we consider the miasmatic background, initially soric miasm brings out the functional changes in the ovary, and cystic changes in the ovary is produced by the influence of cycotic miasm, and PCOD is a combination of soric and cycotic miasm. And syphilitic miasm, if syphilitic miasm unite with this, leads to malignancies. For a homeopathic physician, case taking begins as soon as the patient enter into the chamber. The patient's build, gait, manner of dressing, position, and the way she talks, facial expressions, etc., all conveys the significant information about the individual's unique characters and constitution, which are important for the remedy selection also. I wish to share some the cases with the PCOD. First of all, I am going to share my first case. The duration of infertility is 5 years. It's a diagnosed case of PCOD. The patient approaches the OPD with a pilonidal sinus for the treatment of the pilonidal sinus and PCOD. I mean, she is having menstrual irregularities. And this is a recent case. Only one month back, she is get pregnant, and menses occurs in 2 to 3 months. There is amenorrheic episodes. Menses only appear 2 to 3 months. There is history of PCOD for more than 5 years, and the patient is usually having recurrent incidents of urinary tract infections and having leukorrhea, whitish thick, offensive discharge with the pruritus vulva, and she also complains about vulval eruptions. And this same type of eruptions are seen in her husband also. And an ultrasonography, there is a polycystic appearance of ovaries, and the endometrial thickness is very less in that case. Only 4 millimeters is in after 1 month of or after 2 months of amenorrhea, when we examine the patient, only 4 millimeter of endometrial thickness is in that case also only. And there is PCOD appearance, the typical PCOD appearance is seen in that patient. The main symptoms are recurrent attack of urinary tract infection, leukorrhea. The peculiar leukorrhea is thick and offensive, and there is pruritus vulva and some peculiar type of eruptions, painful. Sometimes it is painful. When it separates, it is painful. And that type of eruptions, same eruptions is seen with her husband also. So it is considered as sexually transmitted infections. Do you have any suggestions in that, in this medicinal suggestions in this case?
Madam, the participants are muted, madam. So they cannot respond.
Sir?
The participants are muted. So they cannot respond. We have discussion after your
Okay, sir.
presentation,
Okay.
madam.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. And the pregnancy, after giving the treatment, she is get pregnant on 20 recently, that is this month 22. The pregnancy test positive. And the second case is also having more than 5 years of infertility. Case discussion is not possible, yes, sir. So I will start with the symptoms of
Okay, madam.
therapeutics.
Okay.
After the session, it will be our participants will interact with you.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Then I will discuss about a few drugs that having indication in PCOD. That you all know that the Apis mellifica is one of the medicines that plays a greater role. In my practice also, most of the cases are treated with Apis mellifica. I alter Apis mellifica and Thuja as intercurrent remedy. Most of the cases, the Apis mellifica, the causation of this derangement is due to grief, fright, jealousy. Most of the patients are jealous, hearing bad news, mental shock, fearfulness, cannot always BP tendency, and in most cases there is recurrent infection, the recurrent urinary tract infection. In the past, there is in past history, there is the patient may have a recurrent urinary tract infection. This is a guiding symptom for Apis mellifica in my cases. And the patient, some of the patient may complain of numbness of the fingertips and sensation of as if the nails were loose. And the patient generally ameliorated by cold open air and worse by touch, and the well-known 3 p.m. aggravation. And another medicine is Senecio Oris. You all know that in amenorrhea in young girls, Senecio Oris is indicated, especially I usually give it in 200 to 1 potency. Menses suppress, but the peculiarity of this medicine is the indicating symptom is there is amenorrhea, but the patient feels that the menses is about to come. The sensation as if the menses will come. And associated with these symptoms, there is pelvic pain, nausea, etc. And another medicine I rarely give is pituitrinum. Pituitrinum is a glandular extract. It stimulates the muscular activity and overcome uterine inertia. It is especially given into the menorrhagia cases with PCOD with menorrhagia. Pituitrinum is usually indicated, and the patient may complain about vertigo, difficulty in concentration, confusion, and fullness in the frontal region. And usually they are obese patients, and most of the pituitrinum patients have delayed menarche. And another medicine is Calicarb. Menses is suppressed for several months. altogether 4 or 6 months, the menses is suppressed. Backache and pain in legs are indicating symptoms. And the backache is ameliorated by sitting and pressure. And another great medicine is Thuja. It also helps in the treatment of anovulatory conditions. And there is scanty menstrual flow. And the Thuja has an inherent tendency to dissolve cystic tumors. And most of the Thuja women have a cystic growth more pronounced in the left side of the ovary, left side ovary. And it also plays a role in the treatment of hirsutism. But treating hirsutism, the patient demands immediate relief, but we cannot give, in my practice, I cannot give that type of relief in case of all the symptoms associated with the PCOD may relieve, but the hirsutism may still persist in most of the cases. It will disappear. It will take a long time to disappear. And another great medicine is Zephia. Zephia is, I frequently give Zephia in indicated cases. Especially in case of anovulation, I usually give in infertility cases Zephia 201 dose in 14th day for stimulating the ovulation. Most of the cases it give better results. One or two cases it may super ovulate. Both ovaries may ovulate after giving Zephia following this regime. The menstrual symptoms of Zephia is late and scanty menses. This is accompanied by bearing down sensation of the pelvic organs. Also considered to be treat infertility cases due to PCOS. Abnormal hair growth, especially over the face, especially on the upper lip. Zephia is indicated. Other general symptoms of Zephia is sensitive to cold air, mental irritability, and indifferent towards the loved ones, etc. The mental symptoms are very important in case of Zephia. When we considering mental symptoms and giving Zephia, it will give wonderful results. And Pulsatilla nigricans is another medicine. It is also indicated in case of anovulatory menses, especially in young girls. Pulsatilla is indicated in young girls. Physical general symptoms are considering Pulsatilla is the total absence of thirst. These are for cold, cool and open air. And the mental symptoms are also the leading factors here also. And another medicine rarely give corpus luteum, potency 200 potency I usually give in case of delayed menstruation, scanty menstruation. But you should be careful while giving corpus luteum. Check the BP before administration. If it is too low, never give corpus luteum. Pain in the breast, usually a symptom of corpus luteum, usually aggravated before menses. And in the amenorrheic period also, pain in the breast is one of the symptoms of corpus luteum. Calcarea carb, all know, corpus PCOD with thyroid disorders also, calcarea carb is indicated. It is especially indicated in the peculiar constitution. Comorbidities like hypothyroidism and uterine fibroid are also treated with the calcarea carb. And in case of menorrhagia, calcarea carb is very helpful, especially every mental exertion brings out bleeding in calcarea carb. And Natramur and Zephia are the two great medicines for the Natramur, Zephia, Epis are the great medicines in the treatment of PCOD. Irregular and suppressed menstrual cycles, aversion to heat and sun, and craving for extra salt in the diet. Mental picture also have the guiding point here, and a weeping tendency, constellation aggravate, and the colocin. Colocin is cured 2 of my cases with the colocin, the PCOD cases. Extremely irritable patient, angry when questioned, and humiliate and shame, and anger with indignation, aversion, dislike, open air, company, or intimate friends, aversion to mental works, silent grief, etc. are the symptoms of colocynth. Carcinosinum is another medicine. It's well indicated in cases of family history of cancer in the family. You have to differentiate with the Natrum or Sepi and Medorrhinum with the Carcinosinum. Both this having similar symptoms with the Carcinosinum. For scanty and short duration of period in PCOD patient, Pulsatilla and Sepia senesceo oris are best indicated. For the menses remaining only for a few hours, Euphrasia, Coccus recti, and Sorinum are of great help. So Sepia and Pulsatilla can help in periods of 1 day duration. Abnormal hair growth or hirsutism. Sepia is prepared when there is hair growth in the upper lip. For the hair growth in chin, Oleum jacoris aceli, and Thuja for excessive hair growth in any part of the body. For acne and pimples in the PCOS, so many medicines like Silicea, sulfur, etc. are indicated. For obesity, PCOD is obesity in PCOD, calcarea carb, graphitis, ammonium carb, natron phos. Natron phos is a wonderful remedy for controlling obesity. When it is given in the 3x potency, it is controlled 3x or 6x potency, it will control obesity and flatulence. Or in case of acidity and flatulence also it is covered, and it is the best treatment for obesity also. And Lacus is the best medicine for PCOD with menorrhagia, and the patient usually complains about hot flushes. In young girls also complains about hot flushes, that is patient is very increasingly perspire and hot flushes. And it is a wonderful medicine to control menorrhagia also. Graphitis, best homeopathic medicine for PCOD with constipation.
Okay.
These are the things I wish to share with you.
Okay.
Okay, sir.